So today I want to tell you a story about how Ghana qualified for their very first World Cup. Just like any other story, it does not begin from when it actually started. So we'll move back to the AFCON 2006, which preceded the World Cup. So in this AFCON, Ghana was joined in a group where we're not favorites to win the group, but we're at least known that we were going to qualify from the group. But on the last match day of the group, Ghana suffered a heavy defeat to Zimbabwe 2-1. Just that. Have you ever wondered why the Black Stars, it's called the Black Stars, but then we don't wear black jerseys? So in that match, in that year actually, or for that AFCON, Puma made black jerseys for the Black Stars. They made white jerseys like we always know we've been wearing. And they made black jerseys an alternative. And on that day that we played Zimbabwe, they wore that black jersey. And when they suffered that defeat, many Ghanaians tied that the black jersey had bad luck and then a whole lot. So because of that, we stopped wearing it. Wait, let me check it. See if this minutes record. So the Black Stars did not qualify from the group, suffered the defeat to Zimbabwe, a team that we will term as the underdog of that competition. So from that time, we have never worn black jerseys. You know we are Black Stars, but Puma has never made black jerseys for us. It's either yellow or red as our away jerseys. So before, the same thing happened to Brazil in 1950. Brazil stopped wearing white. The Seleção that we've always known, they've not always been wearing yellow. So they wore white for the 1950 World Cup. And after suffering a heavy defeat, I'll call the defeat heavy because a stadium of 200,000 people was silenced by that defeat. So it's quite heavy. They call it the Maracanazo, the silence of the Maracana. So Brazil suffered that defeat. But let's come back home. So after Black Stars suffered that defeat, the momentum and then the zeal for the World Cup or the qualification for the World Cup, it increased. Just like this same World Cup that we qualified, after Coach Otuado failed to qualify us for the AFCON, now we had to turn our focus to one thing, the World Cup. So the Black Stars tuned everything to this World Cup. And then there was something special happening. Now, I wouldn't call this team our golden generation, but then there was a transition. We saw new players coming up. There was Steven Tornado Apia from Udine, who was playing Fenerbahce at that time. And then there was Sule Ali Muntari, who was at Udinese. And then there was Michael Essien, who played Chelsea. So our midfield was quite sorted. There was Baby Jet Asamajan, there was Matthew Amwa. Some of the players had played at U team. We can talk about Asamajan and then Derek Watson, who started playing the Black Stars who started playing together as teammates for national teams, even before the under 20. So let's come back to the qualification. Ghana was drawn into Group 2 with heavy favorites, South Africa. One time, people who had made one-time appearance, that's the DR. That time we were called Zaire, Cape Verde, then Burkina Faso, and then Uganda. So this road to Germany was not going to be an easy one. It's like we all know, we are now in a group with favorites, South Africa, and they were the giants that we had to slay. But there was a shock. A shock happened. An early draw with Burkina Faso, an early draw with Uganda, and then a loss to Burkina Faso. They made everyone worried. So now the ghost of past failures. The time we had our best teams, the 1960s, we couldn't even make it to the World Cup. How much more now that we had a team that was new faces and a new generation? So everything depended on the next match in South Africa. So it was a do or die affair. So if we lost, the dream was over. The result, Ghana won 2-0. So goals from Matthew Amwa and then the Bison, Michael Essien, secured our win. So that night, the continent realized one thing, that Ghana was there to make a statement. So we did not just want to win, we bullied the favorites on their own turf in Johannesburg. Now we come to the final step. It's October 2005. Fans are glued to their TVs and radios, watching live from Praia in Cape Verde. Sule Muntari's goal, final whistle, now explosion of joy. So now everything came down to October 8, 2005. A win against Cape Verde would secure our appearance the very first World Cup. So then the tension in the country was taken out to cut with a knife. And when the referee blew the final whistle after Suleiman Muntari scored the goal, we all knew that our first World Cup would be the 2006 World Cup in Germany. It would actually be a reality. I mean, there was celebrations all around the country. So the AFCON 2006 failure was a blessing in disguise. It stripped away the ego of the team and forced them to rebuild. And that gave us the most iconic midfield that we have been bragging with over years. Suleiman Muntari, Michael Essien, Steven Appiah. So as the team prepared for Germany, they were not just carrying a ball, they were carrying the hopes of, at that time, 22 million people in the country. So once again, the Black Stars are they are finally giving the people a chance to believe in them. So if you remember where you were when Steven Appiah lifted the qualification jersey, let us know in the comments. And don't forget to like and then subscribe. Like and then subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video.